So for wifey's 30th birthday, we took a brief vacation to New York City. And to make the trip extra special, I also booked us business class tickets with JetBlue Mint, the airline's refreshing take on a premium travel experience. As a first-time business class flyer, I learned a lot about the special club in the sky, and since I purchased the tickets myself, I figured I would do a full review on the experience to let you know if it's really worth it. Never having flown business class before, I did a ton of research to ensure I was getting the absolute most for my dollar, and when it came to US domestic flights, JetBlue Mint kept appearing at the top of the list. With a shaky finger, I pulled the trigger on 2 round-trip tickets from LAX to JFK Airport at just over $2,000 a piece, not including taxes and fees. That's roughly 5 to 6 times the cost of a standard economy ticket. It's worth noting that I did use some of my credit card points towards the balance, which chopped about 25% off the total cost, but that's still a lot of dough. So let's talk about where this package delivers, where it falls short, and whether it lives up to all the hype. The Mint experience starts when you get to the airport with a separate line for checking in. Instead of waiting behind 30-some people in the main line, there was only one person ahead of us at the Mint kiosk, allowing us to get our bags checked in a fraction of the time. Skipping the stop-and-go shuffle of airport lines was a nice perk that helped us relax a bit upon arrival, and would have been a total game-changer had we been running late to our flight. Once through security and at your terminal, Mint flyers also receive priority boarding. Since there's fewer passengers in this group, you actually stand in a small straight line, rather than a disorderly blob of people that funnels down to the gate. These little conveniences added up to make our time at LAX the least stressful it's ever been, making it feel more like a trip to the grocery store than another part of the world. Aboard the aircraft, about half a dozen rows of JetBlue Mint seats alternate between these coupled side-by-side seats and single throne suites, where one passenger gets an entire side of the plane to themselves. These seats boast additional storage and privacy, and can be chosen by Mint passengers for no additional cost on a first-come, first-served basis. We were lucky enough to experience both seat types, having the side-by-sides on our way to New York and the throne suites for the journey home. Now, everything I'm about to say here applies to both seat types unless I say otherwise. The seats feature genuine leather upholstery and are more spacious in every way compared to what you find in economy. The coupled seats also have a little divider for additional privacy that keeps the person next to you from falling asleep on your shoulder, or vice versa. For a tailored experience, passengers can access an illuminated control panel that lets them adjust lumbar support, cushion firmness, a massage function, leg rest, and incline. While the lumbar support added some comfort to my seat, adjusting the cushion firmness didn't seem to do much for me, and the weak massage mechanism was nothing to write home about. When extended, the edge of the short leg rest dug into my calves, which also felt pretty terrible. Seeing so many points of adjustability and not enjoying most of them was a huge disappointment. Thankfully, having enough legroom for an NBA player and the ability to lie completely flat is the Mint seat's saving grace. Being able to sleep on flights has always been an impossible task for me. Who knew turning a chair into a full-blown bed would change all that? Bear in mind, though, that the seats feel more narrow here since your arms have to lay flat, leaving virtually no room to toss and turn, and good luck if you're not a back sleeper. The seats just aren't soft enough to sleep on your side comfortably. Having said that, lying completely flat to get some shut-eye on a plane is just as good as I always thought it would be, especially with the super plush blanket and pillow provided. Arriving to your destination feeling more refreshed than when you took off really is a thing of beauty. Each Mint passenger also receives a bottled water and amenities bag with various toiletries that come in handy for a long flight. As someone who typically brings a lot of tech on board, the abundance of storage at my seat made getting my belongings infinitely more convenient. Rather than struggling to grab something from my backpack under the seat in front of me 12 times a flight, I was able to unpack and store a number of items in various compartments around the seat for quick access. The throne seat has even more storage, with a huge compartment for extra large items and an actual counter with more space than anyone on a plane could possibly need. The fold-out tray is metallic and notably less flimsy than the ones typically found in economy. More importantly though, it's large enough for a 15-inch laptop and mouse if you want to get some work done or game the flight away. This perk was tainted, however, upon realizing the seat's 110-volt AC outlet did not have the juice to power or charge my laptop. Perhaps that's why each seat has 2 reading lights, so you can crack open a good book when your notebook inevitably dies. Luckily, the adjacent USB port had no problems charging my phone, albeit quite slowly. The throne seat gets a whopping 3 outlets and 3 USB ports for limitless power, unless you're trying to charge a laptop. Mint takes their in-flight entertainment to the next level with a 15-inch touchscreen LCD and a remote control if the display is out of reach while your seat's reclined. Sadly, the sub-HD image quality is far from crispy, but the audio is decent, and the media selection is astounding, with a massive library of free content with DirecTV, movies, TV shows, and satellite radio at your fingertips. You're bound to find plenty of content you actually want to watch, rather than settling for whatever's available just to kill time. The last seat feature is a Throne exclusive and my personal favorite, a sliding door that turns your seat into its own mini-suite for ultimate privacy. This is great if you're pulling up sensitive data on a laptop or want to shut out all the activity going on around you. The high framing that lines the perimeter of your seat area combined with the door ensures that only people walking by can see what you're up to. If it's available, I would highly recommend choosing the Throne seat to make the most of your JetBlue Mint experience. Beyond the stellar seating, this would not be a full review without discussing Wi-Fi. The wireless internet with JetBlue Mint is completely free for the whole flight, and my initial speed test seemed promising until I noticed the awful ping, which is to be expected some 30,000 feet in the air. Still, text-based pages like Reddit and Twitter load plenty fast, and for the first time ever I was able to stream YouTube on a plane, which is amazing, even if I could only do it at an unspeakable 240p. On a plane you take what you can get. Apart from that, don't bother trying to download even the smallest files, and expect occasional network drops when the aircraft leaves a coverage area. On one hand, Mint's Wi-Fi is laughable when comparing it to what we have on solid ground, but it's also the fastest and most capable connection I've ever had in the clouds. Switching gears to service and food, this part of the Mint experience feels like being at a fancy restaurant. The moment you take your seat, a flight attendant personally introduces themselves by name, offers to stow your carry-on bag in the overhead bins, and takes down any drink requests. All food and drinks on the flight are complimentary for Mint members, alcohol included. The Bloody Mary I ordered came out quickly before our flight even took off, and it was served in a full-size cocktail glass, rather than a small plastic cup. Even stranger, it tasted good. At the beginning of the flight, you're served one meal featuring food inspired by an upscale New York-based restaurant. The special menu is small with limited options, but you can choose up to 3 items to sink your teeth into. I was really excited when the meal came out due to the stunning presentation, only to be let down once I got everything in my food hole. My omelet was bland and boring, while the pancakes were more crumbly than fluffy. And as nice as it was to eat with real silverware, it didn't boost the morale of my taste buds. Unfortunately, we weren't able to give the food a second chance on our other flight because we simply weren't hungry at the time, but this was easily the least impressive part of the Mint experience for me and my wife. Ending on a good note though, the service from the flight attendants was impeccable. They were quick and attentive with any requests, and fulfilled them gladly with smiling faces. They even noticed when our drinks were empty and offered refills. The service from the attendants is so good, it's almost scary. I'm pretty sure they're robots. From start to finish, the JetBlue Mint experience doesn't just make traveling bearable, it makes it enjoyable. Except for some food woes, the whole package met my high expectations and absolutely delivered in making my wife's birthday trip feel super special. Realistically though, gotta bring us back down to earth a bit, my wallet game still can't justify shelling out $2,000 a ticket for a 5-hour domestic flight. That's $400 for every hour of airtime, and that's just a little too rich for my blood. If I ever fly business on my own dime again, it'll most likely be in a similar fashion, for an extra special occasion where I have some points racked up to put towards cutting down the cost significantly. When that day comes, I'll definitely have another go with JetBlue Mint. My first and only experience with their premium package has me convinced there are few to no better options in its class. That's all I got for now, guys. Feel free to share your thoughts on all this fancy pants stuff down in the comments below, and toss a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It helps a lot. Get subscribed for more tech stuff coming at you real soon, and yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.